Hello, it's Calvin again. Welcome to my channel. I'd like to say a few words today on something I've been looking at for quite a while. The moon landings back around 50 years ago. Apparently they landed on the moon, took dune buggies to the moon, and personally I think that all those moon trips were about as fictional as this lady sitting on a moon drinking Miller High Life beer. I think that's as far as it goes, really. Anyway, we'll continue. Hello, it's Calvin here again from the Health Info channel. So-called Health Info channel, but I do a lot of research on an awful lot of stuff. Why it is called the Health Info channel is because of many years ago went to expose stuff, the alternatives for cancer and stuff like that, and the government still got people believing that there is no other way, although they have released. You type in, look in the rest of my channel, and there's a news item up there. I mean, it even had, I believe it was Lloyd Robertson or whatever, the news director in 2008, they were saying about, well, yeah, the cure's been found, but it's too cheap, like.
And is relatively cheap. But as CTV's medical specialist Avis Favreau explains, redeveloping the drug may not fit into the business plans of the big pharmaceutical companies.
Dr. Evangelos Mikalakis has given cancer researchers a brand new lead with an old drug, a cheap, inexpensive powder that costs just pennies a dose.
You typically get this eureka kind of feeling, and it's actually the most exciting thing scientists can get.
The drug, called DCA in short, has been used for decades in humans with some rare inherited diseases. When he added it to the water of mice and rats given human cancers, the results surprised him.
He has this big tumor growing in his back, so you can see that even after 3 weeks there is a significant or 70% decrease in tumor size.
It shrunk brain, breast, and lung tumors in the animals in a matter of weeks, and the drug had no side effects, confirmed by tests of DCA in humans for other diseases.
This kind of results, to my mind, are as good as it gets.
And it seems to work by reviving the energy-producing components of human cells, allowing the cells to work normally again, triggering cancer cells to commit suicide. Scientists agree that DCA now needs to be tested quickly in human cancer patients.
This is exactly what we want, a drug that has activity, but has also minimal side effects for patients.
But there's a problem. DCA isn't owned by any pharmaceutical company. There's no patent on it. So on one hand, it could become a very inexpensive new treatment for cancer. On the other, drug companies won't be interested in funding studies for a drug that won't make them a profit.
This is a difficult question because typically, there are market considerations.
So now Dr. Mikalakis has to find someone who will pay for the next round of testing.
We hope that we can attract the interest of universities here in Canada and in the United States.
And he doesn't want to let the medical dream of a cheap, effective anti-cancer drug disappear just because it might not make someone a lot of money. It costs, some say, about $100 million to get a new drug through all the phases of testing onto the market. So it will be interesting to see if this old drug actually gets a new chance at becoming an anti-cancer medication. Lloyd?
Well, Avis, your report tells us that this drug has great promise, so why aren't companies and institutions lining up to get behind it?
Well, first of all, Lloyd, this is the initial report. Secondly, because the drug isn't patented, it's an old drug, if someone invests in researching it, they're not going to make a profit because anyone can make it. So we'll have to see. There are some agencies, public agencies, government agencies that may give it funding, but that's still a question that will have to be answered.
But unless big pharmaceutical companies are behind these things, they may go nowhere, is that it?
Well, actually, Lloyd, I've had 2 other stories where drugs have shown great promise in the preclinical phase.
I give my take, on the information provided by NASA about the moon landing. To me, it doesn't really make sense, and it's not making sense to a lot of people either, how that could even be possible back in that day when, like one guy says, you can go to the Walmart and buy a $10 watch that's got more computing power than what they had back then. So anyway, just figured I'd give you a little bit of my take on this. You know, I was hit with the fact that this flat earth thing a couple of years ago, and I kind of laughed at it like they do on most places. Everybody laughs at it. I laughed too. And then when I started studying, I shook my head and I says, you know what? I'm upset. So anyway, kind of got over it. Then the Mandela effect came up. Bothered me a lot. Got other videos up on that, about that too. But anyway, people are claiming that NASA has lied. And I just want to give you my take on why I think that the moon landings could not have been possible. Just from, not from what they're telling me. You know, they're saying that, well, the rocket never had enough fuel to get up there, you know, to go all the way to the moon, you know, like, they're telling me stuff. But my own logic, I look at my own thoughts of things and what I see in front of me, you know. An investigator looks at facts, not speculations. You know, it has to be objective. It has to be something hard and fast. Anyway, no, I'm just going to go to the screen here. I look at a lot of different things that people have put up. It talks about reasons why people believe that the landing is a hoax. I mean, there's so much here. And the lander itself, excuse me. Let's see if we can see the screen a little bit better here. There, it's lightening up now. You know, apparently the pictures show no dust on these landing pads. Shadows seem to fall in the wrong directions when from the pictures I see. This whole buggy they have up there, this whole thing. You know what my opinion is, did they have a trailer hitch on the back of the rocket? Like, that's a lot of junk to haul up there. And you know what? If these are solid tires with no air in them, that's a lot of weight to carry. You know, and a vehicle with tubes in them, if you did hit a vacuum, if it did have air in it, the tires would actually probably blow up, because you're taking away the air pressure that it leaves with from Earth, and that's a lot of, like I say, that's a big thing. Now, okay, how did they heat and cool their suits, for one thing? You know, I mean, apparently there's lots of heat, really cold. I don't know, but you know, and how did they recycle the air in these things? Like, so much I don't think was even invented back then that could even do anything like this. You know, and take a buggy up there, and they're transmitting signals from, like, they got a little wee tiny dish on these things pointing up. It's supposed to be sending signals back to Earth, 250,000 miles or something, and got to go all the way from there on the moon that's spinning, and it ends up coming in through an atmosphere that we have here that reflects radio waves. You know what? We have well, I'm just saying, I'm not saying what we have up there. I don't know. All I know that when I had CB radios, I could turn the beam. You know, the beam could be like vertical, that would send the signal this way. When the beam, they flattened the beam out and they shot the beam up against the atmosphere on an angle, it would come down, it would bounce down. So all I'm saying is there's something up there that bounces signals off of it. Okay, so now, how much power do they have in that little wee tiny dish? You know, like, and okay, you're leaving the Earth. You're going on a long journey. How much battery power did it take to run that equipment even inside the space station? Lights, whatever they had in there, you know, and where did they go to the bathroom? Was it all this stuff invented? Like, you know, lots of stuff was not even really talked about or shown. They never showed us any direct pictures. they never showed us any video of them doing anything like that inside the so-called capsule. And another thing, like I say, when they get out on of a space station anywhere, they don't. Nobody's ever panned the camera right around to show the whole thing. You know, that says to me a movie set. That says to me possibly they're in a tank of water, and with all the round Earth images, that suggests to me CGI or a green screen. You know, like, I don't know. But what really, like I say, what really gets me is they take this big dune buggy all the way out into space somehow, you know, on one of their many trips, and how do they run it? Like, you know, like, how much batteries does it take? You know, we got one of those little kids' cars the kids run around with in the yard. It's got a battery in it, and those are modern batteries. They hold charge a lot longer. Still, that little battery goes a little ways, but it sure ain't gonna take you very far. You know, like, and to charge that battery, you wanted to charge that battery on a solar panel that was big enough to put on anything. You know, what do you got to charge it for 2 days? You know, maybe if you had a little panel on there to get enough to run it for 10 minutes. You know, maybe 10 minutes at the most. But, you know, there's just so much stuff out there. There's all kinds of moon landing hoax. William Cooper. Oh, fake moon landing, conspiracy theories. This lander, you know, like it doesn't appear structurally strong enough to be doing what they say it done. You know, the shadows are out of whack on the thing, on the pictures they send back. There's just so much stuff out there. Like I say, here's a picture of the cart. A little wee umbrella antenna, that's gonna shoot it to the Earth, right? It sure will. You know, at 250,000 miles. 250,000 miles. That is a long ways, and there's no way you could put, with technology today, with their microwave and everything, never mind their old analog stuff, you put microwave into this little antenna, like and put some power on it. I don't think you're going to shoot 500 miles, even with a real properly designed antenna with Wi-Fi, microwave capabilities, and a fair amount of power. You know, I mean, they can send the signal. Now they're saying, well, okay, we got these little dish like this, smaller than that actually on your house. It is a Wi-Fi uplinks they have for so-called satellite Wi-Fi, and they say they got a big space station up there, but a big satellite, and you look at the images of that big satellite that they're so-called bouncing many signals off for everybody that signs on to this thing, and they show it in a hangar, and it's huge. So now they're taking this, apparently, they're putting this thing that everybody built in America, they're putting it on a big plane, and they're sending it over to Russia, and they're putting it on one of their little rockets, and sending it up through into through the stratosphere, exosphere, whatever, and they're putting it in a thermosphere. And the thermosphere is supposed to be like, goes like 3,000 degrees Celsius or centigrade or 4,500 Fahrenheit or something, real hot. And aluminum, I know, melts at like 1,200 and something degrees. And what about solar panels? I mean, you got lead on those, you know, like soldering everything together. That melts at very cool temperatures, you know, like. But anyway, it's different, all right. I just keep going through things, you know. There's Neil Armstrong, you know. I mean, and if these astronauts actually did land on the moon, people have asked them to swear on the Bible that they did land. Now, if I did land on the moon, there would be no argument about that. I mean, I would swear on a stack of Bibles. I would write out affidavits and make statements, you know, saying that, you know, it was true, if it in fact happened. And lots of these guys, they wouldn't even comment on it. People refused to swear on the Bible, and, you know, got angry, angry, angry. I don't know. It's just, did NASA lie? I don't think they told the truth. I think they've been caught lying a number of times. Now, if they've lied about this moon landing, oh, well, here you got a stage set up here. Here's the director in the back. Well, I think that's what really happened. I just, to myself, that's what I believe. And I guess I'm entitled to my opinion. Oh, anyway, banned in America. Proof of fake moon landing. Okay, well, whatever. We'll just go through some of these slides. They bring up some, a little bit evocative. They bring up some thoughts to myself. You know, landing totally hoaxed. The flag, you know, like when we seen pictures of this thing, apparently it was fluttering in a breeze. Not supposed to be any wind on the moon. I don't know. I think it's just a given it was a big hoax. And how many times did they say they went there? And you know what? In all these years, how many years has that been? 50 years? And they never been back? That's like saying, well, the Wright brothers flew a plane for, you know, 50 feet. Or whatever it was, and they never flew again. They never ever tried to fly again. Like right away, people were flying, you know. People cross the ocean. Right away, people are crossing the ocean. People invent something, people use it. And that's what I'm seeing anyway. So, I don't know, there's... okay, NASA moon landing conspiracy, the hoax, full video, hoax, moon landing, you know... well, yeah, here's a movie set again. Like I say, these little antennas that they're showing on there, it just didn't make sense, you know, like, and shadows falling different directions on the Earth. The guys inspected videos and stuff like that. You know, it just, I don't know, kind of a, I think it's a lie, you know, my opinion. I don't know, how did they get that? All that cart and everything down there, you know, it just seemed like they didn't tell people a lot. People seen the first moon landing and they didn't seem to question anymore that, oh yeah, they can go there. Now they can take go-karts with them, or dune buggies and golf clubs and pick up piles of rocks. And, you know, I'm telling you, when you listen to the information, you listen to the people talk, I don't know. If I was 250,000 miles away from my home planet, and I had some air tanks and some batteries and stuff like that, I don't think there would be security in my voice. I think there would be fear, you know, and never got that. They're golfing away on the moon there, and they're going, strolling in the park one day. Yeah. Wow, that's a stroll in the park, all right. Yeah, oh well. I'm just having trouble believing all this, you know, and if you look into it, you look into the, what's happening now, you know. Like I say, we got these little Wi-Fi dishes on our houses. If you got satellite, like uplink for your Wi-Fi, and it's a small dish, just like a Bell dish, and that thing, they say, is shooting up to satellites that are sitting in a troposphere, or thermosphere, by the way, that is very, very, very hot, and they're 22,000 miles up, and going around the Earth. They're running on batteries and solar panels, and at night, half the time, they'd be sitting in the shade, not even charging the batteries. And our little dish is shooting up into the sky on an angle, just like shortwave ham and CB used to do, where they used to bounce a signal back to the Earth, and you could talk, you know, 1,000 miles, 1,500 miles to somebody else who was bouncing off something up there. Yet now they're shooting a signal up, and it's going through that, whatever it was, and it's hitting a satellite on an angle. It's 22,000 miles away. And the modem that they're sending the power on is your house modem. It's regular, just a modem. My sister's got one. The lights flicker, the same thing. You put your hand on it, it's same like the one downstairs. Now, not warm. May get a little bit of heat off the thing, but it can't be putting any more than a few watts. So you're putting a few watts into that Wi-Fi dish. You know how big it's just like a Bell dish, and it's going to bounce way out, go past that reflective whatever was throwing signals down before, and it's going to hit a satellite that's 22,000 miles up. That satellite is going to, it's stationary too, it doesn't move, it'll stay in one spot all the time, and that's going to send this signal, relay it all the way back down to the earth to jump from place to place, and no problem. I have never heard of any one of their satellites so far. I don't hear them being hit by these micrometeorites they're saying up there. I don't see the batteries having to be changed in them. I don't, you know, they claim that there's many, like hundreds or whatever, there's satellites up there, maybe more, thousands. I don't know. You can look it up. But they say there's so many up there, but, well, basically, do they have a repair crew running around up there all the time? You know what? If I got out of a space station up there, first thing I would be doing is taking my cell phone and I'd be going around circles. Eh? And it's Wi-Fi. Okay. Now, a Wi-Fi signal, they say, well, it's line of sight. Okay. Now, if a little dish can shoot a satellite and go through this belts, or whatever it is, through this radiation and through this reflective, whatever, reflecting the signal back down, and hit that satellite, and come all the way back 22,000 miles. Now they claim that the space station is only up maybe 250 miles. Wow. There should be no problem with any of those satellites just transmitting, or from that space station they call it, transmitting up and down video all the time. Anybody should be able to grab their phones. Everybody should be grabbing their phones and pointing them out the windows, and I don't see that. I watched on the videos, I watched that that Hatfield guy, you know, he was singing on the satellite, and he was an entertainer, Hatfield. He was supposed to be up there on this space station. And one time I watched him, and you'll find the videos up there too, I watched the guy say, they ask him, oh, what's the sky look like up there? And he's looking up, the sky is lit up like the stars of the universe lighted up. And then I'm watching him in another interview they put back to back, and it says, he's saying, talking to a school or kids or some other interview, and he says, they asked, what's the sky look like up there? And they said, well, he said, it's dark, it's deep dark, it's like a black velvet, you know. And then I listen to other people saying up there, oh, the sky, oh, it's light, it's light. And then next guy saying the sky, oh, it's dark, it's deep, dark. Excuse me, everybody's up there and nobody knows what the sky looks like. That's amazing. Just amazing. But anyway, you know, I think we have other issues on this earth to worry about right now. I mean, we could argue whether satellites exist. We could argue whether the moon landing made it or not. There are all these trips to the moon. We could argue that the earth is flat. We could argue that it's round. We could say that the Mandela effect doesn't exist. Or we can say that, you know, we could say it was our consciousness making it happen. All these things are, we could argue about them all day long, but it doesn't take us really anywhere. It takes us into loggerheads with people that we're going to be arguing with all the time. And I don't think it matters, because we're on this earth. Our days are getting short. We have been warned that, you know, through the Bible and science say that something's going to go wrong. You know, it's not just the Bible. We've been warned by people that are looking after the power grid. I have a friend who retired 2 years ago from the hydro. He worked for Ontario Hydro. He was watching a thing there showing him on the computer that they were saying that the power grid is antiquated and they don't have they don't have sufficient big transformers and stuff if anything could happen. And they're talking about they talk about a solar flare, some kind of a energy surge that that hit the earth back in the 1800s when they had just telegraph, and they said that caused telegraph lines to burn, and people got shocked working on equipment. People wouldn't work in the telegraph offices, and so if something like that hit, whether it's something from the sun, whether it's something from the universe, if the universe exists out there as we're hearing it, if that ever hit, and knocked out our power, we're in trouble, boys. We better think about not worrying so much about the little things and start thinking about, well, holy crap, we got something coming here, that it's going to be awful hard to deal with. If our power grid went out today across North America, we would be in trouble. No water coming to your house, no stores open, no gas, no electricity working in your house, nothing. No place to go shopping, nowhere to get gas to go anywhere. Anyway, so what would you do? Well, I've become an advocate over the years of prepping a little bit. When this 2012 thing happened, it talked about Nibiru and all this scare tactics and prepare, and Nostradamus and all these things of fear that said to prepare. But I'm telling you, right now, people are not prepared again. People have been ignoring all that. People are looking at this stuff. They're looking at all this, arguing about flat Earth and whether they lied to us or not. I don't care if they lied to us or not. That's not going to matter if a big problem happens on this Earth. So if it happened that the power went out for a long period of time, there would be no fire suppression equipment. There would be no gas. There would be no way of fighting fires. One thing too, I mean, your neighbors, first of all, are starving to death. Their kids are starving. They're going to come and see you. They're going to come and see you, and take what you got. Maybe kill you. People turn into animals when they're hungry and their children are starving. People will get what they gotta get, and they get it if they have to kill for it. And you've got to believe that. That's the way it is. Your nice neighbor might turn into the zombie. I don't know what you want to call it. But we should know our neighbors. That's why I've become an advocate of the Steep Tea Line. I'm not actually signed into it. I got my friends to sign into it. I drink tea. I like tea. And when you look at the facts, if there is a big problem on this Earth and the grid goes down, if you're a little bit prepared, you got some flour, sugar, rice, a little bit of staples, a wood stove, some wood, maybe some solar panels, some batteries, a little bit, generator and some gas, or some way of making fuel. I mean, you can run on alcohol. You can distill stuff outside, and you can make alcohol enough to run a generator. But if you had the basic staples, a way of keeping warm, a way of cooking something, even in the wintertime, if you had flour, if you had some rice, and you had some sugar, maybe some potatoes, a little bit of basics. There's not a lot of nutrients in like rice and stuff like that. But if, in fact, a person has access to multiple different types of teas, from all over the place, you could live healthy. If you don't have teas, and all you had was flour, sugar, and maybe rice, and a way to cook it up somehow, you would be suffering malnutrition real soon. You know, especially with no greens and no vegetables and nothing that you could get, you'd be suffering, you know, malnutrition really bad, really fast. Scurvy would be setting in if you didn't have a way of getting your vitamin C or your nutrients, which I'm telling you, you can get them right in the wintertime, right from outside, from the, you know, like go find a different trees, spruce or I think the natives used the black spruce cones or something when all the sailors that came over to Americas were having scurvy. Boil them up some tea and the scurvy's gone. You know, it's vitamin C, you know. Cedar, very heavy. I mean, a few cedar boughs in the tea and you got your nutrients. But if you have a whole variety of different teas, you'll stay healthy. You'll stay healthy on basic staples, you know. Now you look at some of those countries where they lived on basically on, tea, and I mean like rice and fish. That's all they had. So they had the omega-3s and they had rice. Okay, rice is a grain product. It's carbohydrates, but lots of times that's all they lived on. But they had teas. They had all different teas. They stayed healthy. You never heard them getting cancer. You know, they didn't die. They thrived. So that's basically where I'm going with my videos. As I say, you know, people are arguing all about this flat earth and the Mandela effect, which, man, the Mandela effect bothered me too, and I got some other videos up there on this thing. But largely it's a distraction, moving us away from where we are at right now in this life, you know. I mean, personally, I'm taking some actions here to make people aware of what is going on and to say, you know what, if a big disaster like that happens, everything's shut down. Big disaster happens like that, most of the population on this world will die if the power goes off. Other than third world countries that know how to live like that, they'll survive, probably not bad. But if something happens and the power grid goes down, there's no fire suppression equipment. So, in fact, what's going to happen in cities? One house starts to go on fire, what happens? You know, nobody come put out a fire. What's going to happen? The whole city will burn down. Look at out in Alberta there a couple of years ago. Man, North Battleford or whatever. Most of the city went, or lots of the city, and it was all new homes. And new homes are not, you know, they were spaced usually farther apart, and then you got the older homes that are sitting right beside each other, sometimes touching each other's eaves are touching. If one of those things catches fire, cities will burn. But anyway, but for the survivors, for the ones that do prepare a little bit or do survive, which I think will be very, very difficult, I don't really want to be here through that. You know, I'm hoping if there is a rapture of something, if there is a fact that God can step in and take us away, take me away, man, take me away. I don't want to go through that, you know. But if I have to, I have to, and that's the way it is. So people should have a prepared mind of some kind. You know? Be a prepared mind of some kind. But anyway, that's basically where we're going with this. And like I say, I found a steep tea line that it's called Steep Tea, and it's a very, very good product. Anyway, we're gonna look through. Okay, and there's all kinds of stuff up there on the Steep Tea. Keyboard here. If you just type in, we'll go to Google. Google. Oops. And we'll type in Steep Tea. Come on. Let's just go home. Hang on. Steep Tea. Steep Tea. And there's a flip book here. I mean, you can go on this right online and look through their Steep Tea catalog, you know, and the stuff that they have in this thing Computer's running a little slow, and that's okay. Okay, catalogs. Now here is a catalog. It's just called Steep Tea. This is their flip book. You can go through this flip book right online. Oh, let's go. Where's she gonna go here? Oh, this is... Oh, we gotta click on the flip book first. Sorry. Here we go. Steep Tea Spring, Summer 2017 loading. Let's just bring this in. Oh, I got so many of the windows open here. It's take a minute to load. Okay, here comes the Steep Tea line. Now there's so much stuff in this Steep Tea line. It's a little book, and you can sign on to this thing for like $100. You know, it's 99 bucks plus shipping and stuff like that. Shipping and tax. Okay, as you go through the book, see it flips nicely online, and it gives introductions and different types of teas. If you look at, it's got dandelion tea in there. It's got turmeric tea. There's so many different, there's all kinds of root teas and stuff. Now if you look up dandelion, they're claiming that that's a root is a cure. Okay, dandelion, look at that. It says dandelion cures cancer. Dandelion cures cancer. Hepatitis, liver, kidney, stomach. Here's how to prepare. Okay, here we go. Okay, this is, I didn't even watch this one yet, but I'm going to right now. Thank you.
Dandelion cures cancer, hepatitis, liver, kidneys, stomach. Here's how to prepare. Prepare dandelion to cure everything from stomach to cancer. Dandelion has been known to have a healing cause for a long time. Its use varies from all sides of the medicine. It's helpful to pregnant women and women in menopause. It can also be used against allergies, low cholesterol, in case of detoxification of the liver, as well as to stimulate bile production. Most parts of it can be used for medicine or any form of healing, from tea to food. Dandelion flowers can be used for syrup, which will help relieve a cough, improve digestion, and purify the blood. The leaves are used for more dieting purposes, like in a salad or with eggs or potatoes, because they are rich in vitamins. The stem of the dandelion has the most medicinal use for stomach issues, gallbladder function, regulating the metabolism and purifying the blood, as well as treat diabetes. It is important as well to know.
There's stuff that we should know. People want to run to the health food stores. I'm seeing so much stuff. I've studied so much stuff. There's stuff all over the place. Like I said, there's stuff in your yard. Well, here, watch this little video. Here, I found this. I'll just break into this guy's video. And okay, let's turn to make sure the volume up a little bit. Okay, I'm just going to cut into where he's starting to talk about this cure that somebody else seems to have. Hang on.
For a long time, throughout history, people have been making dandelion tea. They've been making dandelion wine. They've been doing a lot of different things with the dandelion plant. You can eat them in salads. You can eat the petals. Pretty much every part of the dandelion plant is edible. And the most known uses is the dandelion tea and the dandelion wine. How this all came about was there was an oncologist in Windsor, Ontario, Canada, and they had a couple patients who had cancer, and they started going through the process of radiation and all that and chemo. And after a couple sessions, they just basically said, screw this. I'm sick as hell. I can't do it. It's horrible. My body feels terrible. So they just quit doing the chemo and they quit doing the radiation. They said, I'm not doing it anymore. And they went home. Now, the doctor expected that what would happen is they would end up being brought back by ambulance eventually, really, really sick. And because, the cancer would have progressed in their bodies, and it would have been at the point when they came back finally, that there wasn't going to be much of anything that they could do about it. And those people would die because they chose not to do the chemotherapy and the radiation treatments. In reality, the exact opposite happened. These two patients did end up coming back several weeks later. And when they went back to the doctor, they were tested again. Because they told the doctor, hey man, I feel great, you know, no worries. And so the doctor tested them, and he found that the numbers, you know, their cancer numbers were way, way down. Almost gone. And he couldn't believe, you know, the doctor couldn't believe what he was seeing. He was like, I can't believe this. How is this possible? And come to find out, what the people had been doing is they started turning to natural and herbal medicines, and they started drinking dandelion tea every day. And what they would do is they would dig up the dandelion roots, and they would crush it up and make tea out of it. And they were doing this on a daily basis, and it was actually killing the cancer cells. And they ended up making a full recovery and are cancer-free. So this doctor thought, wow, there might be something to this, because it worked. I mean, I just saw it work with two of my patients.
Okay, ain't that nice? It says the natural and 100% safe cure for cancer. Yeah, whatever. Winter's Block radio show. That's what it is. Anyway, amazing. Turmeric, they're claiming, is a cure for cancer. They have all these teas. All these teas. Now, I'd suggest, yeah, blueberries. They got all kinds of, I don't even see what's up there. Anyway, you look at this thing. Okay, today, folks, we're talking about teas. And in the Steep Tea book, there is turmeric tea. We'll go on. We'll just play a little bit of information that I found on it, and I make no claims, but I sure see a lot.
What is turmeric good for? 10 turmeric health benefits. Lots of people use the turmeric herb in their cooking. The main signs of turmeric are its pepper-like smell, sharp taste, and golden color. Turmeric is known to stop swelling, kill bacteria and viruses, as well as many other things. It is also full of nutrients like protein, dietary fiber, niacin, vitamins C, E, and K, calcium, potassium, copper, iron, magnesium, and zinc. Because of this, turmeric is a great thing to use to cure health problems. Here are the top 10 things turmeric can be used for. 1. Prevents cancer. Turmeric can block prostate cancer and even kill cancer cells. It can also stop tumor cells from growing, so it can guard the body from getting cancer in the first place. 2. Relieves arthritis. Because turmeric brings down swelling, it's great to use for osteoarthritis and rheumatoid arthritis. It also kills germs that harm body cells. People with rheumatoid arthritis who eat turmeric all the time have gotten much rest from pain and joint swelling. 3. Controls diabetes. Turmeric can help cure diabetes by keeping insulin at normal levels. It also helps with sugar control and makes the medicine used for diabetes work. But if used with strong medicines, turmeric can cause low blood sugar, so make sure to ask your doctor before you take turmeric capsules. 4. Reduces cholesterol levels. Using turmeric as a spice can bring down cholesterol levels. Because high cholesterol can cause other health problems, it is important to stay on top of it to stop heart disease. 5. Immunity booster. Turmeric helps keep the body's immune system going. It also helps strengthen the immune system because it kills bacteria, viruses, and fungi. This stops you from getting colds, coughs, and the flu. To help you feel better if you do get sick, mix 1 teaspoon of turmeric in a glass of warm milk and drink it once a day. 6. Heals wounds. Because turmeric naturally kills germs and bacteria, it can be used to clean wounds. If you have a cut or burn, sprinkle some turmeric powder on it to help it heal quicker. It can also help treat psoriasis, itchy, dead skin, and other skin conditions. 7. Weight management. Turmeric powder can help keep the body at a proper weight by helping break down fat. Someone who wants to lose weight or treat obesity and sicknesses that come with it can have 1 teaspoon of turmeric with every meal. 8. Prevents Alzheimer's disease. Swelling of the brain is one of the main reasons for cognitive disorders, like Alzheimer's disease. Turmeric can keep the brain healthy by helping oxygen flow. This can also slow down or totally stop Alzheimer's disease. 9. Improves digestion. Turmeric can help with digestion by lessening bloating and gas. It can also help treat inflammatory bowel disease. But be careful, because if you suffer from a gallbladder disease, you should not take turmeric, as that can make it worse. Also, if you have a digestive problem, it is best to eat raw turmeric and not capsules. 10. Prevents liver disease. Turmeric is a natural way to force poisons from the liver. The liver takes poison out of the blood, and turmeric helps make the enzymes that keep it working. It also helps strengthen and better blood flow. All of this helps to keep the liver healthy. Because of all the ways turmeric can help your health, adding this herb to your diet is a great idea. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. If you want more recipes and tips, subscribe to the channel.
There you go, folks. Have a nice day.